Hello. Hello. Welcome to the broadcast. Hello. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm going to wait a little while until I see people coming into the broadcast. Hello. Welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to Saving the Strong Woman broadcast. Comment below.
Hello.
Like. Hey, y'all.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Welcome to the broadcast.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you good.
Okay, good.
Yes. As you come in, I'm going to ask that you like, share, tag someone in this video. Hello, Penny. Hello, Paul. Hello, Stephanie. Hey, sis. How are you? Welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to Saving the Strong Woman broadcast. I'm super excited tonight because we have a fireball tonight. I already know things are gonna happen. Hello, Krista. Hi. So welcome to the broadcast. And I'm gonna ask that you like, share, and tag someone in this video. We have a treat tonight on Saving the Strong Woman. Again, for those of you who don't know me, I am Sheletta Fisher. I'm your freedom coach. And as a result of coaching and working with me, I help women to walk in total freedom and tap into their untapped potential, living life full out. So I would like to thank you all for tuning in to this broadcast tonight, the Saving the Strong Woman broadcast. We have a special guest on the broadcast with us tonight. I'm so excited about having her. And she is definitely got a treat for everybody. If you've been wondering how you're going to control these emotions. Hello, Desmond. I see you on the broadcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Like, share, and comment below. Let me know what city and state you're coming in from. You can comment, ask questions. We are listening. So any questions that you may have, feel free to comment. I do go back and review those questions. And so, yes, please comment, interact. We want you to engage with us tonight because I'm sure that she's going to say some amazing things. So get your pen and your paper together because you don't want to miss it. I'm already knowing. I'm excited. So I see our sister Shantae on the broadcast. Welcome to the broadcast, Lady Shantae. So again, I am Sheletta Fisher. I'm your freedom coach, and this is Saving the Strong Woman broadcast. And so we're not going to prolong it. I am so excited to just introduce her. Her name is Yah Hughes, and she is the owner and the CEO and founder of Made for Purpose. She wears so many hats. She has a master's in community counseling. She has the Purpose Crew. She's a pastor. She's an author. She's a speaker. She's a coach. She's a bad woman. That's all I can say. Powerful woman, and I love it. Just amazing. She has a beautiful spirit. And I'm just so excited because I already know this is going to be an amazing time. If you're looking to figure out like how can I conquer these emotions, I know as women, a lot of times our emotions are real heightened. Sometimes we don't know how to channel that. Sometimes we don't know what's going on. So this is the night that you will learn. Get your papers, get your pencils, get your pens together, comment below if you have any questions, because again, after these videos, I do go back and look at those comments, and if I see anything in the feed while we're going through, we will definitely address it. Again, her name is Yah Hughes, the Purpose Cultivator. She's all about purpose, and I love it. And that's what it's all about, walking in your purpose and what God created you to do and playing full out while doing it. So without further ado, Yah, thank you for saying yes to the invite to Saving the Strong Woman. How are you today?
I am great. Thank you so much for inviting me and for just providing an opportunity and a platform for us to talk about saving the strong woman. I think that it is so powerful and it is so needed, and I am so excited to be here to serve your vision and your community and your people, and just share what I have so that we all can just walk out fully what God has for us and not allow for our emotions to kind of dictate or take over who we are.
Yes, absolutely. So, again, we're gonna flow tonight.
Yes, amen.
Because we spoke earlier, so I'm already knowing that this is definitely purpose from the resistance that's already have
That's
taken
right.
place. Yeah, so we're gonna just flow tonight. And so I do have some questions. The first question that I have for you, and she's done a training that was phenomenal on conquering your emotions. And I was just like, women need to hear this, men as well, because we have men, and men, we welcome you too. This is not any type of bias. We love men. We love men. We have brothers and fathers, so we it's nothing against men.
That's
But
right.
my assignment for this season is coming for the strong woman, because no woman is weak, but we have women who is women of influence, women who has to live their life in a public view, and because of that, and because they are in great influence, a lot of these women go unnoticed, and a lot of these women suffer in silence. Yeah. So it's like they shut down because they feel like, I can't trust anybody. I don't have an outlet. I don't want people to judge me. So that's my assignment for this season, is to speak to that woman who feels like she doesn't have support, who feels like, I can't trust anybody, or feel like if I show somebody my vulnerability, then they'll associate it with weak. But there's beauty in vulnerability.
That's it.
Beauty. But if you're not aware of it, or if you haven't been aware of how to conquer those emotions, you'll channel that in the wrong direction, and it'll cause you to shut people out. And so that's what we're going to kind of deal with tonight. In your training, you said about having a relationship with your emotions.
Yes, absolutely. I think one of the pivotal things that we as women don't do, we don't have a relationship with our emotions. And what that means is we allow for our emotions to dictate who we are. We allow for our emotions to kind of tell us what we should do, who we should date, where we should go, what we should wear that morning, all of those things. And our emotions are indicators that there's something going on in our lives, and we have to have a relationship with them, meaning we have to tell them what to do. We have to sit back and analyze what's going on with our emotions. And when we don't analyze and don't have a relationship with our emotions, then we cannot control, or we can't conquer it. We can't do any of those things. We're taught at a very early age that we are supposed to be that strong woman, right? And being that strong woman means that sometimes we don't tell people what we struggle with. Sometimes we just grin and bear it. But God did not intend for us to just grin and bear it. So there has to be a level of relationship, meaning I take inventory and I look at what these emotions are, where they're coming from, and how can I have a relationship to manage them and they don't manage me. Because the long they dictate all of those things, and then I can't be my full self if I allow for my emotions to run amok inside of me when it's my job to manage them.
Right. That's good. So basically, your emotions aren't supposed to tell you what to do. You're going to tell your emotions what to do.
Absolutely, because they're only an indicator, right? They indicate that something's going on. They're not there to tell you which way to move or do anything. They're indicating that there's something going on in the inside, and you need to figure out what to do with it. It's not their job to figure out what to do with it. And for so long, we've allowed for our emotions to tell us what to do, how to shrink back, what to apply for, what to say, how to say it, all of those things. And that's not what they were intended to do.
Right. That's good. That's good. So My question would be, because we're talking about conquering, and a lot of people don't know how to manage, because I mean, this, especially like, in this day and time, I hear a lot of I feel like, and it's like we're making long-term decisions off of short-term feelings.
Absolutely. And
So it's like, if you're in a decision, you have to make a decision at that time. Like you said, those emotions are going to give you an indicator, in other words, that there's something that you have to do. But then you're going to take the time out to say, okay, I'm feeling like this, but let me go into that head space to see if I make this decision, not based on what I'm feeling, but based off of what's going to be the end result of this. So how can you talk to that woman who's saying, I've been making a lot of decisions based off of emotional feelings?
I would definitely say to that woman, in order for you to get to a place of conquering, to conquer means to gain control of, right? So if I want to gain control of, I'm allowing for my emotions to kind of dictate everything, and I can't shake them. So that's an indicator that something's going on, again, in the inside. And because there's something going on in the inside and these emotions keep surfacing, that means that you're not dealing with the root of the thing, right? Because they're presented some kind of way. So if there's fear, there's some trust issues. There's some mismanagement of your trust if you have anxiety and you have fear. If there is doubt, then again, I am not trusting in my abilities. So I need to figure out what made me become fearful. Why do I not trust? Why am I doubtful? Right? So when we get to the root of the thing, and I would say sometimes that requires that you sit still and be silent. That requires that you take a moment to sit with you. That requires that you take some time to just be by yourself, because a lot of times we sweep it under the rug. We don't want to deal with it. We know that there are some things that has happened to us there. We can go back and pinpoint when we first started acting this way or contending with those emotions. But because we don't want to deal with that feeling, we don't want to revisit that pain, I would prefer to act like there's nothing going on. I would prefer to be defensive, right? I would prefer to put this wall up so that I don't have to deal with it, and me not dealing with it allows for it to deal with me. So I would say, if you're at this place where your emotions are kind of getting the best of you and they're making these decisions and you can't get a grip on them, then that means that you need to take some time just to sit back and reflect and really go back to that place that you picked up, that defense mechanism, that you picked up this survival mode, because that's what happened. I wasn't at a place where I was mature enough to deal with my emotions. So I learned to survive. I learned to just ignore them. And in that, I learned to be defensive. I learned to be sarcastic. I learned to be fearful. I learned to be all of these things so that I can protect myself. But that wasn't for you to pick up from the beginning. So we need to take a step back and really sit and figure it out, right? And I'm speaking from experience. I don't speak anything that I have not lived through. And I can remember a time where I was just struggling with rejection and feeling inadequate. And because I was feeling inadequate, it led me to be a people pleaser, right? I always had to be somebody that needed to be pleased, right? I needed to please somebody. I needed to make sure that everybody was okay so that I know that I am validated. And that stemmed from that rejection. And that rejected moment happened when I was 8 years old. So at some point, I learned how to be the center of attention so that I can get what I needed from when I was 8 years old. So when I went back and looked at that thing from that perspective and that lens, then I began to give my 8-year-old self what she needed so that I no longer have to be a people pleaser, so that I no longer settle in relationships because I just want to be valued. I just want to be accepted. So you got to go back and really sit with yourself. And so many people don't do that because they don't want to deal with what that is.
Right. I agree. And just like you, a lot of emotions that because either you'll be defensive, or you'll want to be accepted, or you'll be in avoidance. So you'll either push people away,
Yes.
or you want to pull them to you,
Yes.
because you haven't dealt with that. And most of the time it does stem from early childhood. Those type of emotions are and you just went straight into it. I said we was gonna flow, because you went straight into it when you started talking about how you don't want to revisit that. You don't want to take a look in the mirror and say, you know what, this happened when I was 5, or this happened when I was 8. And so when this happened, this was my way to deal with it at that time. And we took ownership of it.
Yeah.
So anything that looked like that, that's going to be my reaction to it. I'm no longer responding. I'm now reacting from familiarity. Am I right with the
Absolutely.
And so that was my next question to come. Because of that type of behavior, we sometimes tend to have anniversaries of these type of emotions. So, and what I mean by that is,
absolutely,
sometimes around the same time, the same cycles come around. So, for instance, Christmas. This was, I'm talking about me now.
Yeah.
So for Christmas, I would always go into a depressed state. I can have a beautiful Christmas. I can have a beautiful holiday, spending it with family, friends, but then I would always result back to depression.
Yeah.
And that emotion would get me. So I had to go back and revisit, why is it every year during this time there's an anniversary of this? And see, and let me just say this, both of us are pastors, but a lot of this is not addressed in the church.
Absolutely not.
Because we want to tell, and we tell people, oh, just pray, God, it's going to be okay. But at the end of the day, we have to give real life application. So after the prayer and supplication, I need you to apply this to your life. So what would you tell this woman that says, yeah, every year during a certain time, there's a certain emotion that come up over me? How? I know you told me I need to revisit, but then what if I don't know? What if I can't get to the root of it? What advice would you give her?
So if you can't get to the root of it, if you're not at a place where you can pinpoint what's going on, you just know that in this season, every year, this is what goes on. I would say that you have not fully grieved. You have not fully dealt with it. So if you're not at a place where you can do it on your own, here's the thing. We're praying about it, but we're not going to get the help that's needed, right? So if you've been praying and you've been going to your pastor, if you haven't been going to anybody, you've been dealing with it on your own, you need a support system. You need somebody that's going to give you strength. You need somebody that's going to be able to look from an outside lens and give you that. That's why we have counselors. That's why we have coaches. That's why we have all of those things, because if you can't get to the root of it yourself, then there needs to be somebody that's going to walk you along the way, right? So I always tell people that healing is cute. It's one of the best accessories that you'll ever have, and you can't get healing if you're not at a place where you're ready to confront it, right? We talk about conquering it, and I say all the time, you can't conquer what you don't confront. So if I don't know how to deal with it, if I don't know what to do, then that means that I need to go back and I need a little bit of help, right? So I know that this goes on, and for me, I was given, like you said, that anniversary every year at this season, and I knew that, okay, I need just a little bit more, because I'm praying, I'm fighting, I'm contending, I'm asking God, listen, get me out of this. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I feel this way, but I keep being here, right? So I began to say, okay, what makes me feel this way? Why do I feel? And you got to get to a place of vulnerability, right? You got to get to a place, take that S off of your chest. Everybody tells you that you need to be strong and you just got to deal with it. You know, people have dealt with more than you've dealt with, but they're not you. And it is okay that you recognize that you're not okay. So take the S off. It's okay not to put on the front. It's okay not to be okay, right? at that point, you got to get the vulnerability piece. Forget the shame. Forget that people are going to talk about you, because if we're honest, we're all contending with something. If we're honest, we got some stuff that's underneath the rug that we're tripping over at this point in our lives. And when you don't deal with it, it begins to deal with you. So if you're at this place where you keep revisiting and you keep going on with it, I know that it is more than just a feeling. It's rooted somewhere. And if I can't get to it myself, I need to find somebody that's going to help me.
That's good.
That is going to help me, because there's no need for you to continue to suffer in silence. What happens, and I share in my book, Made Whole, I can remember I dealt with it for a long time. Those anniversaries kept coming back and kept coming back. And my son was about 6 months. He'll be 10 next month, 6 months old. And I can remember going into the bathroom and I'm crying because I feel that I can't offer him anything. I feel that I am, I can manage my emotions just as much as he can manage his emotions. And I knew that I needed something more, right? I knew that he cannot watch me go through these cycles and deal with things and learn to deal with his emotions based on what he sees me, right? Because everything that you do, you may not say it, but you're teaching someone that's assigned to you, whether that's a little sister, whether that's your children, whether that's people, your mentees, whether that's people in your church. The way that you deal with your emotions, you're teaching someone how to deal with their emotions that way. So you got to deal with it. You have to deal with it. And I would say get the help that you need so that you can move forward, right? It begins, right, by saying that I don't have to be strong and it is okay to be vulnerable. Right. It is okay to be vulnerable.
Right. And that's what this is all about. Saving a Strong Woman is to let women know that it's okay not to be okay. That it's okay to go and get help. It's okay to get support. And it's, what I find is a lot of times it's asking.
Yes.
It's asking. That pride thing, that thing with that, and it's pride. It's not because I don't trust nobody. It's pride. We just have to call it for what it is, because we don't want to ask. And it's like, okay, hey, I'm asking because anything breaks under pressure.
Yes.
Anything, I don't care how strong, we perceive to be. You apply too much pressure, it's gonna break. And so that's why managing your emotions are good, but conquering it, controlling them, you're in a great place. For you mentioned about your son. So we have a lot of women on here who has children, and I myself have children, and I noticed even in the way I used to handle my emotions, which was not in a healthy way. Yeah, I wasn't where I am now. So you're right. You're teaching who's ever watching you, and so I will notice that some of my children, they handle their emotions the way I used to handle my emotions. Yes. So then I have to go and say, it's okay if you're not okay. It's okay. You can show that vulnerability. You can show it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you strange. It's significant to show you that you're human. Absolutely. And so that, what would you say to that woman who has children who's saying, yeah, this is a season of my life that I thought when I came into 2018, this was going to be the shift and the transformation and all of this stuff. But all I'm feeling right now is turbulence. I feel like I'm in a lonely place because I can feel on the broadcast. So it's something like pulling on my shirt. So I can, it feels like I'm in a lonely place. It feels like I'm in a place all by myself. Even though I'm around people, I'm feeling so alone. So she's got these emotions that's going on. Then she has to nurse her children, make sure that the children are good. What can you speak to her tonight in encouragement or something that she can probably do? I know, like having me time and stuff, but as a woman, and if you're doing different things, sometimes it's not easy to find that me time. Yeah. So what can you tell her as it pertains to that?
I first say start where you are with what you have. And what I mean by that is, no, you may not be able to go out and get hours and hours of time alone and all of those things, but self-care is very important because, listen, being a mother, all of these things, just being a mother and having to deal and be attentive and be present to your child while conquering your own stuff, you put you to the back burner because you want to be strong for them. That is a duty and a job within itself, right? So you add
Right.
on all of the things that you're struggling with and you feeling lonely. And let me say this, isolation is a trick of the enemy, right? The enemy wants for you to be by yourself, and he wants for you to not be able to verbalize it. See, we get power when we speak over a thing, when we verbalize that thing. So I would say begin to say how you feel, even if it's to yourself, even if you begin to journal and write out what it is that you're feeling, you're getting that thing out. And when you begin to get it out and you begin to put it somewhere, it no longer has control because you're not suppressing it any longer. So I'm dealing with this. I have children. I have to put on the face for them. I have to smile. I have to grin and bear it. If you got to go in the bathroom, if you got to cry, if you have to pray, if you have to put them to bed and then begin to release by writing a note and writing down everything that you feel, listen, that's what you need to do. My love for writing, my love for journaling came because that was my release, right?
Yeah.
I only knew how to write down, and it started out me writing, God, why do the people that are supposed to love me not love me, right? And I can
Right.
remember writing over and over again. We doodle on paper and all of those things, and this was what I would write. And then I began to just write how I felt, right? And it
Mm-hmm.
felt good. While I couldn't tell the person at the time that, it was a release for me because I began to write. And writing became therapeutic for me because I was able to at least release it out of this. I was able to pull the cap right and pull the jar off. You know how sometimes when the tea kettle, it whistles and whistles because
Mm-hmm.
it's about to blow. At some
Yes.
point, you open it so that the steam can come out while it's still hot underneath. While there's still some things boiling, it's not tipping over. So you got to begin to journal. You got to begin to find your release. If you're not a journaler, write it on your notes on your phone, whatever it is that you need to do. But you got to get it out of you so that thing won't bust you apart. You're
Yeah.
right. Pressure bust
That is
pipes.
so.
And you got to get to a place that it starts small. You do what you can, because again, the enemy will have you believe that if you can't afford counseling right now, if you don't have a babysitter, if you can't just
Right.
take a moment to yourself to go to the movies, that I can't do anything. There are times when I literally put my children to bed and I need a couple of minutes to myself just to decompress, just to, come to my own. When you deal with a spirit, when you contend with the spirit, when you get delivered from a spirit, that thing is like riding a bike. You can go
Mm-hmm.
back to those defense mechanisms at any time. And
Yes.
because that rejection was there, I gotta be careful that I don't allow for that to happen again. So there's some times and some seasons that I gotta take a step back and relax, because it may not come this way, but it's subtle that it'll begin to come in, right? And it
Right.
happened at work. Like, again, I want to make sure I do my job to the best of my ability. And I hate not being able to do it right and taking things personal when, I have a bad day at work or things didn't go well and I didn't do it right. I got to learn to give myself grace, because if I don't give myself grace, if I don't begin to nurture that part of me, I'll take it home. And again, those emotions will bottle up. So you got to release it so that you can deal with it.
That's good. That's good. So I hope you all are taking notes. This is some valuable information. This is application. This is
Yes.
what you can do. So she's giving you the application, and you have to apply that to your life. So journaling, like she said, journaling. If you don't journal, if you don't write, just speaking it out your mouth, getting it out, dealing with it. Once it's out, then basically once it's out, it loses its power anyway.
Yes.
um One of the things that I would do, because I would journal as well, but one of the things that I would do as well was, one of my sisters told me, even on your phone you have a voice recorder,
Mm-hmm.
because whatever you're dealing with, you're going to come across somebody who's dealing with that. And that's when you get your power, when you're verbalizing, well, look, this is what happened and this is how I overcame that. Because we're showing and we're overcoming by sharing that, this is how I overcame, this is how I conquered those emotions. So just like she said, journaling, but just making sure that you're getting it out, that you have an outlet, because you don't want to keep that bottled up, because you don't want that to pop or to burst. And then when you're in an emotion, when you're in like that, it's unhealthy. It causes stress on your body. A lot of times we don't channel our emotions, or we don't acknowledge our emotions, and we're bottling it up, and we started getting stress in our body. It start coming out through your body. It start coming out through your skin, different things like that. So it's giving you that data to let you know that there is something going on, but it's not giving you those directives. I love when you said that. It gives you data, but it doesn't give you it doesn't tell
our
you.
emotions are there to give us data, right? Data.
Yes.
And it's not to be a directive. So when I get the data to say, okay, I'm dealing with fear, I'm dealing with rejection, it does not give me the directive to be rejected. It does not give me the directive to be fearful, right? It does not give me the directive to shrink back. But so many times we look at what the emotions say and use that as a directive to outline our lives and to begin to live according to what that says. And it's just some data that you look at. The statistics say, the data says, right? But how many of us know that statistics can be turned around? Because if we're only focusing on the 10% that have it wrong, what about the 90% that have it right? What I can come over to this side if I don't allow for this to define me. And that's what we got to get. Our emotions are just some data to let us know what's going on. They're not directives that tell us how we should live and what we should do.
Right. That's good. I love it. I love it. So we're gonna we're gonna get ready to end this broadcast. Before we end, I want you to speak to the strong woman. And I also want you to tell the audience how they can get in contact with you. What do you have going on at this time? I do encourage, each woman, even on this in this audience, to connect with you, because you are an amazing coach, amazing speaker, amazing author. So let them know, what you're doing, what you have going on. She is in Delaware, but she does travel. So put that out there. But yeah, so let them know what you have going on, and then encourage her before we end the broadcast.
Amen. So I'll encourage you, and then I'll let you know. I want to leave you with this. In order for you to begin the process of dismantling emotions, right? Dismantling that emotional pit or that fear that you're in, you got to begin to, one, deal with it, right? No longer are we going to suppress our emotions. Emotional suppression is not dealing with your emotions, acting as if they're not there. You don't feel like it. It is what it is. I'm just going to be what I am. But in order for you to get to the place of being emotionally well, emotionally whole, and to conquer that thing, you have to dismantle those emotions, dismantle the lies that those emotions tell you, right? It's okay to have fear. It is not okay to live in fear, right? It is okay that I feel this nervousness, right? But I still go anyway. The issue becomes when you stay back because of the fear. The issue becomes when you shrink back because of the doubt. The issue becomes where you feel that you're inadequate and you're not enough. Begin to label your emotions accurately. That's right? Good. It's not I am, right? I am not this, right? This is what's going on at this moment. Because when you begin to say that it's in this moment, that means that the next moment it does not go to that place with you. So in order for you got to change some statements, right? It's not I am, right? I feel. This is what's going on at this present time in my life. And because this is going on, I need to take a moment to deal with it. But when I begin to say I am giving that thing power, because I am is the power. So when you put that in front of something, then that's who you become.
Come on. That's so, come
So if
on.
you're going to say I am, put no longer behind it.
Right.
I am no longer depressed, right? I
Right.
have a sound mind. And what that means is I got to begin to retrain my mind. You got to change your narrative. And changing your narrative means that I change what my inner talk is. So I gotta
Yes.
change that. So I no longer say this, but I look at who I desire to be and I begin to speak it until it becomes who I
Yes.
am. And that's in conquering your emotions too. We no longer can just subdue to our emotions. So if I'm going to dismantle that, then I got to understand that I need to label them accurately, right? They
Right.
don't get to dictate who I am.
Right.
Everything isn't anger, everything isn't stress, right? There are over 153 emotions in 8 different categories. So we
Yes.
got to stop saying that everything is fear. We got to
Come on.
stop saying that everything is stress. We may be a little melancholy today, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
may be frustrated, but everything is not just
Come on.
this or that, because when you put it in just these two labels, that's the only place that it can be. You're saying that I'm either only happy or sad. Well, no, I'm neither one of those, but right now I can't explain it. I'm just in a little funk. So I'm not defining it as just being sad, and you're, because the only thing you'll ever try to be is just being happy, and happiness is just a state of being, right? So we got
Yes.
to make sure that we label them correctly, and we got to
That's
own
good.
them. Own where you are emotionally.
Yes.
Own where
Own
you
it.
are emotionally. Own it, right? It is okay to own where you are, right? Because if I own where I am today, it helps me
Right.
get to my next place. It helps me get to where I need to be. If I can be honest and say that my gas tank is on E, because that's a true statement. I know that I need gas to
Mm-hmm.
go the next mile. I know what I need to get
Yes.
there. So own where you are, right? By not
That's
staying
good.
there. It's okay if your
That's
check
good.
engine light is on, because they make mechanics so that you can get the work that's needed underneath that hood. So, ladies, if you're going to conquer your emotions, these are some ways that you can begin to do that. I am Yah Hughes on all social media outlets. I have a email list where I do weekly purpose push. Every Wednesday, you get a purpose push where we talk about things like that. And you can go to madeforpurpose.org/join to join our email list. I also have one-on-one coaching, right? Where I coach you through your clarity and getting clarity with your emotions and conquering. It's called Conquering It, right? Conquering your emotions. So you can find me in all of these ways. I also offer online classes. And if you're in the local area, meaning the Delaware, Maryland, or Pennsylvania area, Philadelphia area, I have what is called Courageous Conversations on March the 3rd, where it's going to be an actual live workshop where you're going to be in a room with me, and we're really going to do some work and some activities with this. And I cannot believe that I only offered it for $27, but I believe so strongly in our women really getting to the bottom and the root of their emotions that
Yes.
I am offering this for an intimate group of people, 20 people at $27. But I absolutely love doing this. This is what I believe that God has called me to really talk about these things and the issues that we face internally. And I say this all the time: how are you going to win where you're not right within, right? Lauryn Hill had the song That Thing. If you don't conquer
Yes.
that thing will drive you, and it will tell you who you are and what it is that you do. So we can't win in any area of our lives, whether you're a business person, whether you are a coach, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a mother, wherever you are in your life. If you don't get to the root of the emotions and you get a handle on them, then you cannot be effective in whatever your assignment is.
Yes. I love it. I love it. You cannot, you have to, as she say, you have to get to the root of it. So I'm not gonna even say anything else because I want this to marinate In the people, those of you who are on this video, who are on this broadcast, even the replay viewers, because we do get a lot of replay viewers, I really want you to know that this is your season to win.
Yes.
But you cannot win if you don't address what's going on within. If you don't take care of what's going on within, it's gonna be an anniversary. And we aren't having any more anniversaries.
No.
The only anniversaries we're having are winning anniversaries. We're not living an emotional life where they're telling us what to do. We're telling them what to do. Yes, I'm having a moment right now, but it's just a moment.
Absolutely.
It's just an indication to tell me what I need to do right now in order to get to my next place. So I thank you, Yah, for saying yes. I love your vision. I love what you're doing in the ministry and the marketplace. I encourage you ladies to connect with her. And if you're on here, she's having courageous conversations for only $27. We eat that at a restaurant. So you invest that in yourself and go and get these life applications. We both love God. We both women of God. We both in pastors. But this is a season that we have to equip our people to, when you leave out of church on Sunday, you have something to make it through the week with from Saturday to the next to Monday.
That's right.
So that's what this is doing. That's what these platforms are, because we want everybody to win, and everybody will win when we take care of what's going on within. No more hiding behind closed doors. No more suffering in silence. No more denying. I don't wear the S on my chest every day. I don't wear the S on. I'm not wearing the S on my chest right now. But at the end of the day, I'm in control of this. So I want you to hashtag, girl, you got this.
Yes.
Girl, you got this. You're going to control and conquer those emotions. Hashtag, girl, you got this.
Yes.
So I want to thank you all. Yeah, I want to thank you again for saying yes. Saying yes to the call, saying yes to the vision, because it's not always a easy walk in the park, but it's necessary. Yeah. So I want to thank you, and I want to again thank each and every one of you who has tuned into this broadcast. We will have another broadcast on tomorrow where we'll be bringing Tarsha Calhoun on, Eat Away the Weight. So she'll be on here tomorrow. So we're gonna be broadcasting again tomorrow. I see you, Penny. Girl, you got this. I see you, Tarsha. I see, hey Natalie. I see you, Nicole. I see you, Ashley. Girl, you hashtag. Girl, you Allison. I see you, girl. You got this. So I just want to thank So I know that everybody was blessed by this broadcast, men and women alike, because men have emotions too.
That's right.
Men have emotions too. They just channel a little bit different than women do, but they have emotions too, and it's not always easy for them because they are known as the masculine and the strong, so they hide a lot as well. But I see you, Pauline. Girl, you got this. Valerie, I see you. Girl, you got this. So yes, I'm not going to prolong the time. I have enjoyed this broadcast tonight. Thank you again, and I love you. God bless.
I love you. God bless.